Hi everyone! In today's video, I'll be showing you how I drew this candle and glass candlestick holder using color pencils on black paper. Now I'm starting off with an initial sketch. This I'm using the reference photo and I'm just capturing the image onto my paper using a white chalk pencil. Now the reason I'm using a white chalk pencil instead of a white color pencil is because one, if I do make any errors and I need to erase, I can just use the kneaded eraser to erase it. And also it gives me just an outline which is going to be my guide, and I'm not getting any permanent lines that I would get using a white color pencil. So you can see I came through with a kneaded eraser and just went over the entire image. That's just to lighten it up. I would recommend using a kneaded eraser to lighten the pencil instead of using your finger, because your fingers could have oils from your skin which could smudge on the paper. And also if you try to use tissue or something like that, you're going to end up smudging the white onto the black paper. So I would just recommend that you use the kneaded eraser to lighten up your white chalk of your initial drawing. So now I'm coming through with the color pencils and I'm applying multiple layers. And I'm using Polychromos, the Faber-Castell Polychromos on the Mont black sketch paper. Now this is the only black paper I had to work with. So I did notice that it is quite a thick paper and it can take multiple layers of color pencil. It is very smooth. So remember, with any paper, whether it's smooth or whether you're using, like I usually use the white paper, I use the hot press watercolor paper, try to keep in mind that you must keep a light hand as you're applying the layers of the color pencil. Don't press too hard because you can damage the tooth of the paper, and once you flatten that tooth of the paper won't take any more color. So because this paper was so smooth, I had to keep that in mind, and I kept a light hand applying multiple layers and also not applying too many layers. And I tried to avoid burnishing. I just tried to apply the pencil as best I could onto the paper. And obviously, as I was applying layer upon layer, I did notice that it was sort of blending on their own and the colors were blending because the paper is really smooth. So another thing I did notice is when I was working on this, I tried to blend with a blending pencil. I usually use a Lyra Splender pencil to blend. But what I noticed is when you try to apply a blending pencil to the color pencil layers that you've applied, you end up lifting some of that color pencil off. And the reason for this is because the paper is extra smooth. It can lift, the pencil can lift off from the paper when you try to apply the blending pencil. So I would recommend you either apply multiple layers of your color pencil to achieve the look you're going for, or if you do need to blend out, use the color pencils to blend. Don't use a blending pencil, because at least with the blending pencil it lifts the color, but if you use a color pencil to blend or to burnish, you're going to be basically mixing more color pencil into the rest of the color pencil. So it'll be better to use that than using the blending pencil. It could be only for this particular paper, I'm not sure, but for this paper that I use, I wouldn't recommend using a blending pencil for this one. Yeah, so basically, when you're drawing on black paper, you need to remember, you first got to pay close attention to your reference photo. I say that always, but it's very important. Look at everywhere where there needs to be the brightest highlights and where you need to have the shadows, because in this case, the shadows are not going to be drawn in. You're going to be having the shadows from the black, or the black of the paper is going to become the shadows. But also remember, the shadows, some of the shadow areas are not the color of the paper. You're going to see some browns in there or some dark grays in there, and you'll need to basically, there'll be the areas where there is, especially with this, it's a glass candlestick holder. So when you look at glass, you're going to have areas where there's a tiny bit of difference between the colors. So the shadow may be really dark, and then there's basically a shade lighter, which you'd use a dark gray pencil for. So you need to pay close attention to that when you're drawing the shapes as you see it on your reference photo. And also retain, in this one, I wanted to retain the white of the pencil, or the white color pencil, for the brightest highlights on the glass candle and on the flame. I've used just a little bit of a yellow-orange for the glow around the flame. For that, I did use the blending pencil around that area to blend it in. But the reason for this is I wanted to create a glow. So by creating that glow, I used the blending pencil, and the blending pencil let some of the black show through those the color pencil that I've applied, because it is, as I said, it lifts the color pencil off. So it did create that sort of a see-through transparent look, which is what I wanted. So for that, if you need to create that kind of image, the blending pencil will work perfectly. So yeah, basically I'm looking at my reference photo, applying the colors as I see it. Remember to, in this case, there's a white and pink flower, so some of those pink colors will be in and the candle colors will also be in the glass as well. So remember that when you are drawing glass as well. So I guess that's it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, don't forget to like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. Till the next one. Bye.